This year marks the 70th anniversary of the establishment of New China and also the 65th anniversary of establishing the NPC. My question to Mr. Shen, how you think about the advantages and the dynamism of NPC, and what's your feeling from day-to-day work? Good afternoon to all the friends from the media. We all have the same and shared feeling. With the socialism with Chinese characteristics moving forward, we firmly stick to this path. For the system or the mechanism of NPC always showcases advantages. Number one, it's very unique. Where NPC's system actually is born in China, which fits in perfectly with China's conditions. And I can tell you it works so well. And second, the whole system actually is building on a very sound, robust foundation. So look at the overall system. Actually, that is well organized and also work in a very effective way. And third, it received a warm support and wild support from the society, and it's let the people decide their way going forward. It links to the whole population of Chinese people with 1.4 billion, and it's also very closely linked to our day-to-day work and life, and protect our people's lawful and legitimate rights and interests. And we also have around 2.6 million deputies from scientific and technology field. And we also can have a wider range to cover people's voice from different sectors. We had a very sound system in place which will benefit the whole country and its people. Last September, NPC Standing Committee had a conference in implementing the guidance given by the General Secretary Xi Jinping, and we had a thorough discussion to better implement the guidance given by the General Secretary Xi Jinping. And we also released a practice in Hebei. All we are doing, actually, we would like to build up a platform to promote the system of NPC. And also, I invite all our friends to have a visit to Hebei. Going forward, we will strengthen our popularization of NPC and bring NPC to the party schools, to the communities, and to the universities in order to move it forward, our sound system, and put in a better place for implementation. From Legal Daily, I would like to know more about the legislative work. So for the Zhejiang province, they had a regulation that we only need people to complete their administrative work by only one visit by person to the offices. So what's this saying, or how that can be a best practice and roll out to other areas? So for this regulation, we talk about by the end of the 2016, there's an initiative to better streamline the powers and improving our regulation and services. So for our people, we would like to go to our office only just by one stop and done everything in one window. So this is also showcase our decisive determination. Starting from 2017, this regulation included in the government report of Zhejiang province, which won the endorsement of the people and also a big support from relevant department office and institutions. So we receive a quite big success in this area. So talk about the business environment in terms of trade investment and also the whole approval process. 90% of all these activities actually hit our target. And we also save their time. They only just click through their mobile devices to complete all the procedures. And we also have quite effective ways of doing things, and we would like to make them as a very good guidance for our future work. So during our reform, that sometimes we need to receive the approval from the provincial government. In order to deepen our reform in a holistic way, we need a law in place. So we have 3 learnings from our reform work. As I mentioned, all these effective way of doing things, we want to make it as a national-wide standards. And we will also strengthen our oversight work during and after the approval is given. And we talk about the certain approval, certification, evaluation, and other requirements and punishment actually all well stated. So which means everything we're doing have a law-based ground for us to follow. So which means that we have the platform there, and also the rules and regulations are in place for our reform work, and we provide a better service and facilitate our people. We also found that there were 48 articles related to the State Council's rules and the regulations are subject to the central government's approval, because with the local legislative bodies actually have the higher level than the local government. So they also will shoulder more responsibilities. So the laws enforcement started January this year. I believe this will be conducive to other areas' implementation. I believe that's also a good practice and also the good result from our demo projects. With Liaowang Weekly. Ethnic minority, I believe, with a smaller population. So as the member of the Standing Committee of NPC in your region, how do you think you will play a role in poverty alleviation? Thank you for your question. During this year's spring holiday, Mu Jinghui from our village, he bought a small piano online. It says this is just a normal practice of e-commerce or the e-platform buying. Why you mentioned this? From my ethnic minority, actually, we had a very fast transitioning in our history and changing ourselves to the modern socialist. So this is not an easy move for us. So talk about, actually, we're quite separate from the outside world because half of the year is covered with deep snowing. Right now, we connect it with waters and also the road. The tunnel facilitates our transportation, and we also received a big congratulation from General Secretary Xi Jinping. We can see clearly that our life actually is much improved, especially after the 18th Party National Congress. General Secretary Xi Jinping mentioned we should secure a decisive victory in fighting against poverty. And there is a tremendous change in my village. During the visit paid by General Secretary Xi Jinping, he had a talk with the party delegates from the area. He says we should left no one behind in the course of poverty alleviation. So today I would like to report back to General Secretary and also the whole society a good news. By the end of last year, my ethnic minority Dulong group, we achieved 100% poverty alleviation and elimination, and the poverty headcount ratio dropped to 2.63%. For the total population of 1,086 people, we moved to new house, 4G, the telecommunication satellites with full access to our whole village. And we also witnessed an increase in their disposable income, and their children enjoy a 40 years free of education. So people in Dulong, ethnic minority, enjoy a happier life. That should owe this to the party Central Committee, and we will firmly follow the leadership of party committee. Poverty alleviation is a noble job. As a member of the NPC, we will moving forward with doubling efforts to win the battle against poverty. So we will play a larger role in the critical battles, and we will also bring our people out of poverty and pursue a better life in the border area. Wish our country stronger prosperity and people enjoy a happier life. Thank you.
Thank you for staying with us in this interview. Now I'd like to invite the second group of delegates. They are from Hunan Province, Vice Chairman Yao Jingbo, from Gansu Province, Taobao shop owner from Guizhou, co-chair of a group and the CEO of a scientific company, Lu Peng. Now the floor is open for your questions. This lady, please. Thank you. I'm from China News Agency. Today, we believe that the internet economy can only survive in the big cities. I have a question for Yao Jingbo. What's your feeling about that? And how could we also give access to the internet to the farmers so that we can fill the gap of the digital development? Thank you. Over the past decade, of course, the 58同城 has given a lot of information service to the citizens. However, I don't believe that it's only in the cities that we can help the give the internet a chance to prosper. I think the next opportunity lies in the countryside. Today, we have larger coverage of the 4G, and more people in the countryside, more farmers, have their mobile phones. So in the future, if the farmers want to find a job, want to find a house, an apartment, they can use the mobile phone and enjoy our service. In order to let our service go to the grassroots level, this year, we plan to give 40,000 towns and villages their own platforms named after the 58 towns. That is a way to narrow down the gap between the urban and rural areas. We hope that everyone living in the countryside can have a more convenient life by using our service on the platform. And we are recruiting at least one leader for each local platform. He's responsible for the collection of the information, for the employment, for the purchasing of the agricultural products, for the renting of agricultural machinery. We believe that this kind of platform would help to promote the internet utilization in the countryside and also the rural revitalization. I give you one example. General Secretary Xi Jinping has proposed that we should apply the targeted poverty alleviation. So one place in Hunan, they cultivated the orange trees, and some days before the Spring Festival, they had a problem in selling their oranges. And the station leader in that locale has organized more than 1,000 sites to publish this news on the internet. And in several days, we have sold more than 15,000 kilos of oranges. And today, we are located inside 1/3 of the towns and villages in China. That means more than 1/3 of the villages have their own local platform. They have their leaders to teach the farmers how to use their mobile phones to make life and production easier. They don't have to come to the cities to find a job. They can stay at home and find an apartment to rent or a car to rent. Mobile phones today are a tiny tool to help the farmers, but a very useful tool at the same time. They're making them more productive. We will prove us over time that internet can make the urban life easier and also the rural development faster. It can also help to promote the rural revitalization. I'm an NPC deputy. I'm also a business entrepreneur coming from the countryside. I will always be devoted to the internet utilization in the countryside, and I hope that you will continue to follow the development of your local station of 58. Thank you. Next question, please. This lady, please. Thank you. I'm from Beijing Youth Journal. We know in Gansu Longnan there is a severe poverty. So how have you succeeded in opening an online shop? What's your experience and what are your advices? Thank you for your question. Before answering to your question, I'd like to tell my story, how I became a Taobao shop owner. In 2013, I worked in Huizhou in Guangdong province. I learned a lot from local people. However, I was so attached to my hometown, and I'd like to respond to the call of Longnan to develop the online business. My parents, they are farmers. I grew up in the countryside. In our country, in our town, we say that we are the best place to live in the country. We have a lot of agricultural products. However, people have difficulty in selling their products, or sometimes they cannot have a very good price to sell. So after getting back to my town, I have joined the trainings. I studied by myself, and with the support of different people, I opened the shop. I still remember in the early days of my shop, I had a lot of confusions. And today, everyone's familiar with this trading online. Even the elderly people, they know that there is a possibility to sell the agricultural products online. So every year, I have improved my shop. In the beginning, the turnover was not that huge, but I have extended the channels. For example, the crowdfunding and also the WeChat group selling. Today, I have seen my income growing. A lot of products like the chestnut, the mushrooms, and also the eggs, and also the other products. I have visited a honey producer who's raising the bees. He's showing to me that every year by spring there's the dandelion. Could you please help us to sell the flowers? The dandelion is very good for the health of the people. So I say we can sell your honey product and also the dandelion and also the corn products. He's very happy, this producer, and he will bring his product to my shop to sell this year. And there's another auntie. She has also provided her own product to my shop to sell online. She said it's far out of my expectation that I don't have to go to the big cities to have my products all sold out. And I felt very happy to be able to help the local farmers to sell their own products. I'm very proud of myself to be able to do my part of contribution. I have also helped 300 households to increase their income, among which 100 of them are poor households. The e-commerce has helped the development of Longnan. Today, taking this opportunity, as the shop owner coming from the countryside, I'd like to make a call. Please create a better environment for the business so we can have more convenience in opening the shop. And please follow closely the development of our e-commerce from Longnan. And please share our products with your friends. Thank you. Next question, please. That lady, please. Thank you. I'm from Chengdu Business Daily. The big data is a hot topic today, so this question goes to Mr. Luo Peng. We are very curious. How could you combine the truck driver with the big data? Could you please share with us this story? Thank you. Thank you. Talking about the story, I'd like to show you one real case that has happened in Tanggula Mountain. There's one truck and two drivers. They are stuck in the mountains due to the heavy snow. They are stuck there for 2 days, and finally the battery is down, and they have uncomfortable feelings due to the plateau weather, and they have sent out their geographic locations thanks to one application. And we have covered the whole area, and we called 272 trucks nearby, and we have also collected information about that battery for the truck in difficulty. Finally, there's one truck from Nachi to Geermu, and they have helped to send that new battery to the stuck truck, and finally the two drivers are saved. And this is a very common utilization of the driving service based on the big data. 70% of the trucks are reliant on this business. Between Zunyi and Guiyang, in the past, the people have to spend more than 3 to 4 days to collect their goods. But today, they open their application by only half day. They can already know the exact information. And by using this service, they can save the running of 10,000 kilometers, and that's a lot of saving of the gasoline. And they can also have more targeted trajectories, and they can make an ETC card, and they can have the discount. Every year, they can also save another 10,000 yuan of cost. And today, they have more targeted source of goods. They can find the good post stations nearby with an offer of the best quality of service. In the past, the truck drivers could not have the loans from the financial institutions. However, today, based on their conduct and also the other informations, they can have access to the small loans. Today, the smaller business and the truck drivers, they can have new access to the service and no more great difficulties in getting the loans. And they can even get the annual checks on the quality and status of their vehicles in another place other than their own locale. And online, there is also the arbitrary commissions to help people whether in case that they are in the conflicts with the others. We think that big data should be serving the people in the grassroots. They are no longer the outsiders of the big data. They are actually the beneficiaries of the big data. Every link of that working chain has been improved, and we have a very bright future to expect for. Finally, I'd like to say something in the name of the truck drivers. If the highways are the arteries in China, then the drivers, they are the red cells transporting the nutrients. We hope that you could pay more attention to their work and applaud for their performance. Thank you. Thank you for staying with us.
Now let's welcome the third group of the delegates. They are the chairman of Gray Electric Appliance, Madam Dong Mingzhu. From Fangshan People's Court, Madam Li Li. And CEO from Liugong. Now the floor is open. From People's Daily. The self-innovative capacity is important to the sustainable development. So for Madam Dong Mingzhu, what's your take on this? For manufacturing industry, if we want to make a further move, we need to rely on our innovative capacity because that will upgrade our traditional way of manufacturing. I would like to share with you that last year, General Secretary Xi Jinping paid a visit to our company, and he gave us a big recognition and applause because he talked about actually we really understand the innovation and really apply that to our work. But we talk about actually these just marks a starting point of our journey. We need to focus more on our capability of making new things before we rely on other people's invention. Because the key part of the appliance rely on others because we bought from other companies. But today, you look at, we have a groundbreaking changes. Take Gree as an example. With a strong capability in innovation, we transform ourselves from just a manufacturing plant to a plant strong in innovation and design. So under the big environment that the downward pressure on economy, we achieve a profitability ratio of 33% or a 50 billion RMB increase. All should give the credit to self-innovation. We have different ways in front of us. We may choose that we have our self-owned technology and introduce talents. But actually, looking for long term, we cultivate our talents inside. We have 13,000 technical experts and more than 1,000 laboratories. We have a very strong hardware plus software, and our companies actually focus on building more platforms for our young talents to showcase their strengths. So we transfer ourselves only manufacturing the air conditioning, but right now we're doing the molds. And our molds actually are capable to help other industries. And the tool bed actually can be used for other manufacturing companies. All these technologies showcase our core competitive advantages. So General Secretary Xi Jinping paid a visit to us, and he emphasized many times that we should firmly stick to this path of innovation-driven development. As business owner, one of our key jobs is to cultivate the next generation of talents. With these many years of practice, we hired students from universities, give them time, money, directions, and platform to help them grow up. Give you an example. A graduates in 2015 came to my company. We gave that person a project with 4 years development. With a team of 3, right now grew up a team of more than 100 people. So for Gree company, it's not just simply an air-conditioned company. We are changing ourselves towards a company with cutting-edge technology and a self-innovative company. Because people have their mind, it's like air conditioning equal Gree and Gree equal air conditioning. Talk about home appliance, we actually cover the whole categories of products. In the coming 2 years, we're coming to a more intelligent world, a smart plus era. We talk about IoT, we talk about people-to-people connectivity. We need to have the technology ready to fulfill people's needs. We talk about the different technologies and the products. We talk about the companies. We should shoulder more responsibilities. Especially in this year's work report, actually we talk about slashing tax and fees that further lightened our burden. So for this kind of saving or the benefit from the fees and tax cuts, we should reinvest to ourselves to better serve our people and also build a stronger dream and a stronger country in terms of science and technology and innovation. So we should own the know-how of core technology. So this is our responsibility and a duty to serve our country. So I also have a little bit advertising moment. So we have a WeChat shop If you're interested, please have a visit. So this is a really, really close service provided to our consumers. And also, we'd like to hear more from our consumers' voices, so because we should fulfill our consumers' needs. As General Secretary Xi Jinping saying that people's pursuing for a better life is our mission. So we should follow and fulfill this mission. In 2019 will be an even better year for us. We have all confidence to hit our targets, and we will challenge ourselves to meet the needs. Thank you.
有请主持那位女记者，谢谢。
谢谢主持人，我是中国
With
妇女报中国女网
as
记者，
Women
想
Daily.
问丽丽代表，
Question to Lily. So you had a lot of cases actually involving in the PPP platform, and you also work a lot in these business affairs. So during your last year's practice, what's the commonalities in these cases? Thank you very much. First of all, and happy Women's Day. Talk about last year, the cases regarding private lendings. It's around 220, and the illegal lending actually bring more difficulties. We talk about we should bring this private lending that should be better clarified, have a clear definition in the civil code. I should talk about we should strengthen our oversight. And the non-saving lending should have the laws and regulations in place to have a better supervision. During our practice, we talk about the private sectors. Actually, they always have the hard access to finance. These kind of illegal lending really worsen the market, because this is not can solve the people in difficulties, their issues. For the bankruptcy of small or macro business is because of the private lending. We talk about actually we should solve this, not only the symptoms and also the cause. So talk about the case regarding the financial sectors that should reflect a certain behavior or activities happened in financial world. We should think about the high quality and effective financial supply should abide by the rules and the regulations. With joint efforts, but lending should not be a showstopper, and that should help the business in all different sizes be more dynamic.
请继续提问。有请中间这位高个女记者。
Thank you.
谢谢主持人。
With China News Daily. Question to Mr. Zeng. We talk about we should let the business play a better role in building BRI. So what's your experience in this regard, and what's your suggestion? BRI actually initiated in 2013. I believe this is also historic opportunities provided for our businesses to be a player in the global stage, because our business actually went to Europe. And we also learned from European practice. And the European market actually have a quite similar needs compared to the Chinese markets. So we talk about we can better serve the BRI countries as well, because we learned from Europe, and also we can provide a better service to the BRI countries. That also have a higher requirement in management, product quality, and services. These challenges actually also a good way for us to improve ourselves in terms of product innovation and marketing. That's also a good way for us to upgrade ourselves. For my company, actually, we make our presence on the global stage from 2003, and more than 14 countries have our business, and we covered 50 countries along the BRI. And our overseas business actually takes up 30% of our overall business. Of course, we face a lot of challenges and also have many successful learnings. For the overseas market exploration, we need a long-term strategic outlook. Because BRI countries, they have some difficulties. Their market actually need us to look into the details, so we should have a very precise market understanding. Once we started our journey in other countries, we should be really firm to stick to our way globally, because this cannot be built overnight. So when we face the difficulties, we should know why we started, and we should know where we should go to. Started from 2002, we had our presence in India. We had a very good progress in India. In 2008, my company, as the first manufacturing company, built our plant in India. With 5 years after establishment, actually, the profitability is in right. But we made a lot of efforts to understand the market needs, understand the whole trend. And we turned the number from red to black. And we also, as a benchmark enterprises in India, and also the best overseas investors award granted by the Indian government. And also you should find a good partnership. For countries along BRI, they have different sizes. For a strategic company like Russia, India, Turkey, these kind of larger countries, we should have more distributors to help you. So you should basically better utilize all the channels. And for smaller size of companies, to find one good distributors is good for your overseas business. And third, no matter which country we're going to, we abide by the rules and regulations and their cultures and customs. So we had the challenges before, so we should pay special attention to all these areas. For going abroad, we should make our brand well known for the people along the BRI. It's like your plant trees in the desert, because that requires a lot of your time and efforts. We should bring one tree to a whole forest. So it's not just a short-time profit. We should think about a long-term strategy along the BRI. So we should better seize the opportunities in the other countries and unlock their potential and strengthen ourselves in high-quality development. Thank you. This is the end of Delegate Corridor. On the morning of March 15th, there will be the third Delegate Corridor interview. You are all welcome. Thank you.